the whole legacy of the Warner story, one of the very important parts of that is how the brothers did not get along. We're the only ones who have the correct information.
Of course.
Unfortunately, there's only one person in the world that can pronounce the name of the village that they immigrated from, and he's not here today, okay? But I can show you.
If I pronounce it, what do I get? Because I'm Hungarian, I could pronounce that. Krasnojelc. And it's a synagogue. You know I'm Jewish, by the way. Did you know that?
That has a lot to do with who they ended up becoming. They were a Jewish family.
Yeah.
They had limited rights. That's why they ended up immigrating. So Benjamin comes to this country and he opens up a shoe shop. That's the only thing he knows. And this is a copy of his immigration papers.
Wow.
And that's how we know,
Off
where
the
he
ship?
came, when he came. They Americanized everything. So their name was Wanslosser.
Oh.
And it's like, Wanslosser, okay, that'll be Warner. They had a bicycle shop.
Right.
They repaired bicycles, and then they started to make bicycles. Okay, they had a bowling alley.
Oh my
they
God.
had a butcher shop.
That's
they had a
amazing.
grocery store. Okay, they had a wholesale tobacco business. I mean, they tried this, they tried that. When they got into the movie business, nobody thought that this was any big deal. So nobody kept a diary, nobody kept any records of it and everything. It was just another business that they were getting into. There's so much misinformation because these brothers are being interviewed and they're all given different information. 3 remember that the name of the first theater was the Cascade Theatre,
Okay.
and 1 gave the name as the Bijou because the Bijou was the second theater. We're the only ones who have the correct information.
Of course.
Here's some pictures of Jack growing up. He's the youngest of the 4.
Right.
Harry's the oldest.
Okay.
Harry's given the orders. Jack's not hearing it. All the 4 Warner brothers will end up having a specialty. Jack, of course, his specialty was he produced movies. Harry's in New York City. He's maintaining the finances. Sam, he was mechanically minded. So when the projector breaks down, he fixes it.
That's
when
what
the
you were
film
showing
breaks,
me.
he splices them together.
Right.
They were so poor, they didn't even have enough money for chairs. So if you came to a Warner movie, you had a stand. 1 block over, and there's a funeral home. They go over to the funeral home and they said, hey guys, when you don't have a funeral, could we borrow your chairs? This was a luxury seat.
Yes. Am I sitting in the historic first Warner Theater ever?
Yes, you are.
On one of the original chairs?
Well, yes, you are.
That's
what it
crazy.
is.
I love that. That makes me so happy.
Benjamin, back to the daddy, he told them at one time, it's wonderful that you're being so successful and you're making all this money, but you should remember that there's more to life than just entertaining people. And that became their motto. Educate, entertain, and enlighten. 3 E's. What has been really important to me, if we don't have the proper economic system to function in, we don't have the correct politicians, a political system, you're just not going to be able to do what you could do without the freedoms that we so much take for granted in this country.
Sure.
Every day I come in here and I see that. And I see the history of what they went through.
This is a definition of a keeper. Someone who cares about history.
We want to spread the story so everybody enjoys it.